Okay, sorry about that, folks. We're having a bit of a technical difficulty, but we should be good to go. Let me make sure all my other... oh, wait a second. That's not what I want. Still... Yeah, alright. Let's see if we... Okay, good morning, Mick. Alright, good. It's working. Things are just a little kind of off today. I don't know why, but it just took a little bit longer than I expected, especially with getting... YouTube was kind of... I was checking my headphones then. Sorry, yeah, it's just a bit off today, so but should it all be working now. So we're in the gallery cab car, the bi-level cab car, not the gallery, the CT97. This is the one that goes with the MP36, and we're going to do a service limited stop from San Jose to San Francisco. So we're in, obviously. Let's get the doors unlocked. Let's get our... get everything turned on here. And then we'll be underway shortly. Hopefully everybody's well. Need cab light on for right now. Console light on. Don't need the heat. There's that. Let's get the tap cut in. Get the brakes released. I do believe we've got there we are. Door shut. All right. No, we do not have power. Guess I could have. There we go. Alright, now we are finally underway. Now, the only thing about this is that the it doesn't have a way to turn on the HEP generator from here. If you notice in the F40 version on the Northeast Corridor, it has a box like right up there somewhere that you can turn on the passenger light. So right now, passenger area, well, no, the lights look like they're on. We'll take a look when we get to Sunnyvale, just to make sure that it's running. And they may have fixed it where it just automatically comes on, because otherwise I gotta run all the way to the other end there and then turn it on and then get out of here. So anyways, hopefully everybody's well. Kind of feel like I'm running a little bit behind this morning. And I don't know why. I mean, I got up and was able to get all my stuff done fairly quickly before I went live, and course, technology likes to play its own games. Anyway, morning service up to San Francisco. This would be, well, we got a pretty full train, and that would be typical pre-COVID. Well, this was obviously pre-COVID, a lot of these routes. They would be very full trains. Like the earlier you got on the train, the better chance you stood of actually getting a seat. So, yeah, this is a pretty full train. So that'd be like, this is like rush hour time. People obviously going from San Jose to San Francisco, maybe for work for the day or for a meeting, something like that, or maybe just to go shopping. Speeding a little bit there. So, couple things. So we had the road map come out yesterday for TSW2. Of course, Brighton Main Line is just around the corner with a few other things. It sounds like, and I know, Mick, you're probably going to be like, did they talk about steam? Apparently, no, there's been no mention of steam. What I did notice was that there was talk about the 313, which a lot of people know. Yeah, it's the train that a lot of people have been waiting for East Coast Way. For most of 2021. 313 was a big to do, and they said basically that kind of got put on the back burner while everything was pushed to get everything completed for rush hour. So, which I don't think is probably endeared many people, because it's been something that's been in production for quite a long time. So yeah. Now the other thing was, apparently somebody was in the chat having a go at Sam, calling him a pensioner. And I was thinking about that last night. It seems to me that there's a generation of people who seem to think that calling somebody a pensioner because they've worked hard their entire lives and now they get a pension, that is somehow now an insult. Now, my grandfather, was a pensioner. He worked for over 20-something years, I think, for Montgomery Wards. My mom and stepdad both worked for the county for over 20 years. They get a pension for that. I'll get a military pension. And so there's these people who seem to think that that's an insult. And I find, and this person apparently spammed that in the chat. And it's like, well, in what world does that make sense that you are going to just come in and think that it's, calling somebody a pensioner is going to get, I guess they were just kind of having a go at Sam. which, you know, some people do that. Not that I agree with it, but that's, you know, just how some people are. But to try to say that, you know, like that's an insult doesn't make any sense to me. And certainly it doesn't add any sort of, you know, what are you trying to do in the sense of the chat when they're trying to talk about what they're working on and what's coming up and all that kind of stuff. I think the lights are already on. Cool. Well, I guess I could look there. We made this afterward back there just to make sure the AGP is on it. Anyway. And I kind of get the feeling that people go in there because they want to unsettle Sam and maybe the Dovetail Games team overall, so that they don't do those streams anymore. And for them, that's a victory somehow. I don't know why, but it's almost like that's what they're looking for a way to insult people to the point they're just like, well, then I'm not doing this anymore. Screw it, I'm out. And it's rather sad that there's people who, that it appears that they think that way about Sam or anybody on the Dovetail Games team. You know, it's mind-blowing. But anyway, so yeah, I don't quite know why that happened. You know, other than I think somebody thought they were trying to be funny or cute or whatever. But you know, it's a really sad situation in society where people use something like the fact that if somebody's a pensioner, like it's an insult. Like you don't deserve to be there anymore. You know, you don't deserve to live or something. You know, you should just crawl off somewhere and die. I don't know. I think it was just some rando that came in the chat and kept spamming that Sam's a pensioner. And I think it's just was an attempt to maybe, throw off the vibe of the chat, or to insult Sam to the point that he would just throw in the towel and say, that's it, we're ending the stream. Because for whatever reason, people see things like that as a victory of some kind, that they were able to get somebody to quit. I don't know if they're doing it out of malice because they don't like the state of the game, or they don't like that people come in and generally are having a good time in the game. There's just these miserable people, it seems, that they love bringing the misery onto other people. And they don't even feel bad about it. That's the sad part. Whoever did that, and I'm sure it's just some knucklehead kid who's got nothing better to do with his time. Is this going to be a good stop? Is this going to be a good stop? It is going to be a good stop. That is a very good stop right there. We stopped just in time to get our 500 points for our passengers, too. I know Dovetail Games because they are only human. I think they are. Yeah, exactly, Patrick. That's another valid point. Thank you. You're welcome. Good morning. Yeah, I find it interesting. It reminds me a bit of the fact that we now, and I would assume it's the same in the UK. You have a segment of society who has never interacted with people who've joined the military. And so they don't quite know how to interact with veterans or people who they see in uniform. So they've heard things from their parents, they've heard things from the media, you know, they think that what is portrayed in games like Call of Duty or whatever is what the military is really like. And so they hurl insults at veterans or military service members because that's what they think is the appropriate reaction to veterans and military service members in general. So I think that's part of it. Now, like if I insulted my grandfather like that, I would have, I think, as I got older, I would have regretted saying anything like that to my grandfather. But I think you now have a segment of society who just doesn't have any respect for older people. So they get. I kind of feel like it's this notion that they have to, if they insult somebody to the point that they'll end their lives, or they'll throw in the towel and quit. Sam will say, I'm done. I'm not going to work anymore. As if that person who threw that insult at him would pick up his job somehow or something. There's a lot of different things that could be going on that caused, I'll say, little Jimmy to put that insult in last night. I don't know if maybe it was a dare or whatever. So yeah, it's just really, like when Matt has said that he's had to leave some of the Discords because it's got so toxic. Joe Burgess said the same thing. I think Natalie probably has had to as well. As well as Adam. They all probably have had who want to be able to talk to sensible people in the Discord, but you have those unreasonable people who go in and just start throwing around the insults and whatnot, and think that they're within their rights or something to do so. This is going to be a little bit past perfect, but oh, well, we still got a perfect stop there. Well, the lights are kind of on, but that's okay. I don't think I'm going to have the time to run down and get the HEP started. I don't want to be running late, so we're just going to... It is what it is. But yeah, it really bothers me that people think that that's the... doing those sorts of things is going to solve anything. And it's not. Doors shut. Get right on the throttle so we get moving. California Avenue is next. So anyway, yeah, just weird. As Johnny Carson would say, really weird stuff. And the sad part is, even if that person got banned from the live stream, they'll just go and make it. I'm sure there's one of those people that's got about 30 or 40 different accounts, and they'll just pick another one for the next roadmap, and they'll go in and do the same thing, because they got nothing better to do with their life. Horn action to wake everybody up. So anyways, yeah, just kind of a weird situation, but what are you going to do? And I know, you know, Mel and I were talking about this. I know. I said I would only watch the live stream for the roadmap, only to see Sam, the annoyance, because it's clearly on his face after a while, because it's, you know, it's the usual, I guess the usual suspects who come in and ask the usual questions, and they give them the usual answers, and they don't like that. They want a different answer. You know, I was watching Joe's stream the other day before you went live, Nick, and, you know, people come in, when are we going to see something? And it's like they don't, you know, this long into the game, you would think by now you know about Dovetail Games' website, you know about the forums. Oops, I'm going down way too early. Oops, Daisy. I did not mean, I thought I was a little bit closer than that. Oops. And people, yeah, it's, you know, there's a thing that you can put on there. I would like to see this route, or I'd like to see a route from here to here, if that's possible. Thank you very much. That's all it takes. Can we do a route from San Jose to Sacramento on the Capital Corridor? Thank you very much. Thanks. But they seem to think that by putting it in Joe's chat, that somehow that's going to make it okay. That they're whatever, they're going to get something. You know, it'll be passed on to the, it'll be run up the flagpole, as we like to call it in the military. We'll send it up to the higher ups. Thy will be done. You know, and I had to leave because I was just like, I feel like this is all stuff. And I get it. There's a lot of people who are new to Joe's channel. And that's great. But the level of just, you can't be that ignorant about, like, God help me. Joe was on, what was he doing yesterday? He was on, it was Bakerloo. Yeah, he was on the Bakerloo line. And somebody came in and said, is this a new route? Like, what? You can't be serious with that question. You have to be having a go in the chat. Or they've been watching Joe's thing, you know, videos, but they've never gone back into his library and saw that Bakerloo line was one of the first 3 original routes that came with Train Sim World 2 when it came out last year. But it's like, how in the world, in the age of the internet, are you going to reasonably come into a chat and say, is this a new line? Oh. It's that level of just ignorance. I don't know if it's willful ignorance or it's just like unintended ignorance. But either way, it's like, how? In this day and age, can you not know about this? I find it hard to believe, and I wanted to ask the person, and I was like, no, I'm not going to be that guy today. I'm going to be polite. I'm going to be courteous. Yes. Oh, yeah. Give me. I'll put it in when we get to San Francisco, Patrick, for sure. Yeah, Ace. He just turned 18. Yeah, he just turned 18 a month or so ago. Really sharp kid. He's now a brand ambassador for the game. Just, if you've got questions that I can't answer, he's he'll be able to answer for you in regards to the game. But he's got a lot of videos about, hey, you know, do this, this, and this to do this. Really sharp about the whole PZB, LZB, CFA kind of thing. Really, really awesome kid. And his girlfriend Amanda, he sells merch. She does all the design, and she pops in and says hello. And of course, we all, you know, they're two really awesome young people. And yeah, it's always great. You know, there's with the equipment we have today, people just got lazy and easy to moan when sitting in front of their game chair. Yes, absolutely, Nick. I agree with that. But yeah, I'll definitely give you the link to his channel. Gotcha. I'm more than happy to. He's a good kid. He's back in college now, so he doesn't stream as often as he was. You know, during the summer, obviously. So he's got school stuff going on. And of course, he tries to go out and meet Amanda, you know, whenever possible. You know, he's, you know, I found his stream, I don't want to say quite by accident, but I started watching it especially during the lockdown when I had Train Sim World 2020, and really enjoyed it. It encouraged me to play the game more, and then when Train Sim World 2 came out, you know, got me going in that. You know, yeah, it was a smaller, well, it wasn't small. He had quite a lot of subscriptions, but it's usually about the core. It's, you know, kind of like with mine. It's the few core people that come in. But as time's gone on, all right, I may now have time to run and go do the thing. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. You know, you have a lot of people who are either new to the game, who have come into it kind of late in the production cycle, so they're like a bit lost in the sauce, so to speak. But you know, there's plenty of videos out there. There's a lot of information. Run. There we go. Now we should have full lights on in the... Hey, now it's lit up. We had to wait to Palo Alto. I miss Palo Alto. I love this station. You guys know that. I've talked about this before. You know how much I love this station. The Art Deco. We're going to be departing just a little bit late. Alright, we can leave that door closed because that's our private, that's our door to only special people can sit there. Only friends of the conductor. Friends of the operator. And away we go. But now we have lights on in the passenger area. We woke everybody up now. Hey, wake up. You're going to work in San Francisco today. Not gonna hear any numptiness. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, there's lately been a influx of people I've noticed who are, they have like legitimate questions. How do I do this, or can I do this, or whatever, and that's all fine and good. But then there's just levels of questions that you're just like, how? Where have you been living all this time? And I've been trying to I'm just like, all right, if I feel like I'm going to say something so rude that it's going to cause even Joe to say, Rob, hey, dude, that wasn't appropriate. I'm like, I better just keep my mouth shut. But I try to be tactful, because that's what I was taught over many years in the military. You can say something tactfully and get somebody to understand that their question is woefully ignorant, or that it's like their question is nothing but nonsense, because there's plenty of things out there, there's lots of information when it comes to this game, lots of videos. The level of which is only, I guess, would be based on what it is that you're searching for and trying to understand about the game. But yeah, sometimes the comments, because now Joe is a brand ambassador, the question is, well, when is this coming out? Because they believe that Joe knows like release dates, and even if he did, as a brand ambassador, I'm sure he signed a non-disclosure agreement that he will not talk about release dates or anything like that. And he's not stupid. He's not going to violate that non-disclosure agreement. But they're hoping that if they ask enough times, that Joe will finally say, fine, here's the information. This is what I know. Hello, Amela. How are you? We were just talking about the latest going-ons in Dovetail Games, and I was telling him about the pensioner comment to Sam the other night. So, nice to see you here, Amela. I know you're probably getting ready to go to work. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out for a few minutes. I'm okay. Just got a lot on my mind and trying to sort some things out and all that. On a completely different note, we'll change subjects briefly. So, Mick, I did find, and if Pulse is here, and I thought Pulse was going to be here, but what happened to Pulse? He said he was going to come in today and hang out in the chat. Maybe he's watching on Twitch. I don't know. I did find the Hollywood sign. It took a while. I found the Griffith Observatory, which was easy to find because that's got a marker on it. Redwood City. So I found that, and I found where I can take off, and we can do a loop around, come around and see the Hollywood sign and all that. I did find Mount Rushmore. That was easy to find because it has a point of interest marker. Yeah, I agree, Mella. I mean, that's why I'm glad I'm not in there, because I would have given the person a what for as well, because there's just no reason for that at all. So I did find Mount Rushmore, and because I was thinking about my little journey underneath the Eiffel Tower the other day, I found the arch in St. Louis, the gateway to the west arch. So Friday, we're going to be bouncing around a little bit, but it's going to be fun. Friday we're going to go LA. So we're gonna go to by the Hollywood sign. We're gonna kind of cruise around that a couple times and have a look around and that sort of thing. Then we're gonna hop out. We're gonna go over by Mount Rushmore, and we're gonna do a flight. We're gonna go up there and try to see how well defined the faces are on Mount Rushmore when we fly by. And then we're going to take off from here in St. Louis, and we're going to go through the gateway. And then that'll wrap up Friday's flight. So you get 3 for the price of 1. Kind of like the rush hour season ticket. 3 routes for technically the price of 1 and a tip. That's how I look at it. Oops, going to be going just a little bit past our stop because I didn't really. Look at that. Right on the. Caught the corner. Anyway, so, yeah. So that's on Friday, for sure. Today we're going to continue our flight. I've got a nice flight laid in for 9 o'clock this morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to take off. We're going to go down the coast. We're going to land basically almost on round about near the toe of the boot of Italy. And then that'll wrap that up. You may be asking for a release date. I obviously can't say. Yeah, we were talking about that because now it's known that Joe is the brand ambassador of for Dovetail Games and Train Sim World 2, especially Train Sim World products in general. They want him to be. They want as much information as possible. Let me see if I can find real quick. I usually have it. It's usually in the top. There it is. Here you go, Patrick. There you go. There's there's the link to Joe's channel. He does have a Discord. You don't have to join it, obviously. He does have merch, like I said. He does have monthly membership things. He does like members only streams. He tries to have some fun with that. Like I said, really good kid. Definitely worth supporting. So yeah. So anyways, so we're on our way Hillsdale, the station that has changed. Talked about that before. It is now an elevated station. In response, I think they had to change that because of all the problems they found underneath the rail bed. They had to make that change happen to be able to continue train service, I think, in the foreseeable future. Anyway, luckily you were getting ready to start soon, Mick, because I couldn't. If I'd stayed in Joe's chat the other night, I probably would have said some stuff, and I can't. Or like what somebody asked in the Discord the other day about, hey, when is the stream happening? Well, only Joe knows that. So if you understood what I said, then how could you not understand what Joe said? But it's just mind-blowing sometimes. It's almost to the point I don't even go hang out like like normally I used to like just chill in the members only area, but now the silliness is spilt over into the members only area. So sometimes I feel like just leaving the Discord altogether because it's just. And I have thought about creating my own Discord, but I don't know. I don't want the headaches of things that I've seen happen in Discords recently spilling over into mine either. So. You're a little late to the party, Milla. But that's okay. I know you're back to work. Oh, we're late pulling into Hillsdale. How did that happen? Oh well. We're not too far off. We won't lose too many points. Yeah, do give him a subscription for sure, Patrick. I know you will. I'm sure he'd be happy to see have another new face in the chat, and certainly not somebody who's gonna be overly silly in the chat either. But he's got a lot of how-to videos in his video library. If you want a further breakdown of PZB and all that stuff, if you're not sure, he goes over it pretty well, I think, for sure. That's his, and you'll notice he drives with, he drives like that. He drives with the HUD off. In most, all of the, on the German routes especially, I think pretty much almost all of the British routes he drives HUDless. So, that's his, once he learns a route, the only ones he won't drive HUDless, I think, are the American routes. Because he's not well versed with the signaling system and the speed changes and whatnot on the American routes. But if you watch him on the UK or German routes, I think he can do LGV Mediterranean HUDless. But that's like his thing. He'll do a route enough that he knows where everything is, and he doesn't need the HUD on to know what's going on. The only thing with that is that generally he speeds a lot. So, but that's okay. Yeah, he's a good kid. But anyway, like I said, Mel, I know now that you're back to work in person, that you're not always going to be in the chat and everything. So I do appreciate you coming in and spending a little bit of time before you got to go. It's nice to see you here. San Mateo. Well, I thought it was going to be a much better stop than that, but that's all right. We're still on the platform. That's what counts. So yeah, it'd be a nice little break between here and the time we go flying. Oh, I appreciate that, Amela. I'm glad to hear that. Well, the train apparently is not as packed as it was earlier. Maybe they didn't like the lights being turned on, and not everybody was ready for their day yet. They wanted the lights off so they could kind of rest on the way up to San Francisco. Now that I turn the lights on, they're like, oh, I gotta get off the train. I don't care if I'm gonna be late. He turned the lights on. Oh my god. Burlingame is next. Well, you know, I prefer a nonsense-free stream all the time. I don't like, and I think you guys know this about me by now. I don't care for silliness. You know, like I like to have a laugh. Don't get me wrong. I like to have a joke here and there. But, you know, then there's lines get crossed, things get said that are so wildly inappropriate that it's like, okay, yeah, you just crossed the line here, buddy. That didn't need to be crossed. Yeah, I prefer to not have that sort of, you know, I don't like that in my chat. I don't like it in my life. You know, there's enough problems I think that we're all struggling with that, you know, if you introduce more of it, that it's a problem. Oh, hold on a second. Just gotta. Oops. Oop. Luckily, come on, stop. Look, we cut the corner. Kind of cut the corner. They're fine. Yeah, I think as I've gotten older, I tolerate nonsense less and less, you know, and, sorry if you're hearing that ding. Yeah, sorry, I'm like multitasking right now. Alright, away we go. Once the brakes release, of course. San Bruno's next. Yeah, I don't, you know, and I think it's just getting older, you know, you tolerate, there's things that you just won't, that you just don't deal with very well anymore. And, that's just one of those things, I think. That's just part of getting older. You know what you will and will not tolerate in your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's something that a lot of young people don't realize, is that they believe that they're very tolerant. But if you look at the way that they act, a lot of times they're the most intolerant people. Yeah. You know, or like Camilla said, they shout, they fuss, they act like little kids until they get what they want. And when you try telling them, well, that's not how the real world works. Well, it's going to work that way for me. No, it's not. You think it's going to, but you're going to, at some point, you're going to run into that brick wall, and there's no way around it, or over it, or through it. Because you've essentially pissed off all the right people, and you're going to be stopped in your tracks. You know, like you know, that's just part of growing up, I think, too. You have to realize the world is never fair. It's never going to be fair. As much as we want it to be, it's just, you know, that's not how the world is, and it never is going to be. Because there's always going to be somebody somewhere who's going to have their own motives and whatnot, who are going to get what they want out of things. They don't care that how it affects you, or that it, you know, whatever, or that you're, well, but I want this. Well, tough. What you want doesn't matter. Oh, we're cutting through Millbrae. That's surprising, because normally that I would have thought on a morning commute up to San Francisco, this would be a stop, because you have a lot of people going from, you know, took the BART train or something, or just flew into town and need to catch the train to go to San Francisco. Interesting that we skipped that stop. But anyway, yeah, there's just a lot of people who don't see it that way. They don't see that it's just how. All right. That's just too easy. So, this person, who I'm not even going to mention their name because I'm not going to give them that time of day, asked if I was still a virgin in the Twitch chat. So, that's okay, whoever you are. I have blocked you. I have reported you for harassment, because that's what that is. Because you have no business saying something like that in my chat. So, you're done. You may think you were funny, but that's okay. because I saw that somebody had posted something in the chat on Twitch, and I had to deal with that. Yeah, I'll send you a screenshot, Amilla. I had to take care of that, so that's what happens when you have to deal with idiots. So that's okay. He's that person, he, she, whoever, they're blocked. I'm not going to tolerate it. That's the kind of crap that I'm talking about. So you've been reported. Yep, exactly. That's the problem. I'm having to try to do both. Keep an eye on both chats, because now the silliness has spilt over. Because somebody thought, oh, well, I'll just have a go here. Why not? Because I'm just that miserable. Alright, on our way to San Francisco now. Yep, I know, Milo. I know. WoW doesn't even begin to describe. So once again, somebody sees that somebody's doing something, they're having fun, and they're miserable. So they're like, oh, I'm going to share my misery and talk down to somebody who I don't even know. And think that that's okay. I'll tell you now, anybody does that in my chat, it's not even going to be a warning. It's just an automatic ban. I don't care if you're on Discord or if you're on YouTube, or not Discord, on Twitch or YouTube. You're getting banned and get reported. Simple as that. That's not even worthy of a warning of any kind before you get banned. It's just an automatic ban. Yep, exactly. I don't think any of my folks who are in the chat now who I've known for quite some time now would do that unless, you know, like we were joking around, and I know it's a joke. That's not what this channel is about. You don't know me well enough to even entertain a question like that. And even if you did, I would hope that it would be a private conversation, not something like that in front of everybody else. Because that's a very private matter. Again, it's lost on people who have no sense of boundaries. You know? And that's part of the problem of the internet age. You have people who don't go there at all, they're like lost. And then you have people who don't respect, like personal boundaries or whatever. Kind of, in a way, it reminds me of that time that Shayna asked Joe in Joe's chat, does he know how babies are made? That's not a question that you should be putting in somebody's chat. I'm sure Joe's old enough. He's had the biology classes and whatnot to understand how life is created between two people and all the things that happen. But to ask, that kind of puts Joe on the spot, which is not appropriate. Yeah, exactly. Because that, what if he didn't know? Because he hadn't had those classes yet. Now he's going to feel uncomfortable, like, oh, there's something that I don't know. But people make those comments and they think they're being funny or whatever when they're not. And it's just rather strange behavior. Yeah, now you have the opposite end of the spectrum where people think that any topic can go in a chat. Not realizing that that's not how that works. Now they fixed this, I think we should be able to ride through the tunnel outside. We shouldn't get pushed back in, I don't think. Nope. Yay! I like running through the tunnel. Get that nice silhouette of the bell, one of the pulsing lights when they work. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Here goes the southbound service. Coming up through Bayshore shortly. I'm just waiting for somebody who knows that person who asked that question. Oh, I'm a friend of so-and-so. I don't care. I'll block you too. Don't even try to come in and defend that silliness. I'm not even going to tolerate that. So if you're a friend of that person and you come in trying to like, oh, they didn't mean it like, nope. I'll block you too. I won't tolerate that sort of online mapping. We can show you the way to San Jose. I already know the way to San Jose quite well, thank you very much. It's all going so well. Of course, we start getting our yellows in preparation for our red. We may have to stop just outside our station point. We may have to let somebody else. Oops. There's 22nd. That stop always, I don't care how much they've tried to make it look better, that stop always gives me the heebie-jeebies. Oh, thanks, Mick. I reported them too. But yeah, a few extra reports doesn't hurt anything either. Hopefully they go ahead and delete his account or their account, his or whoever. I don't, whatever it is, whatever the case may be. I don't know, and I don't care, to be honest. I don't mean to be mean, but whoever that person is, they should lose their account. I know they'll go and try to find another way to get another account started again because they're just that willfully ignorant of their actions. But at least, if nothing else, they're blocked. So, yeah. So I blocked them and then reported that person as well for harassment/bullying because that's the realm of that's what that is, in my opinion. So all the people probably like that individual who cry about cyberbullying and such and then do it to other people, well, now you get a taste of your own medicine. You were cyberbullying in a way. You may not agree with that's how I perceive it, but that's how I perceive it. You're being a bully, so you're going to pay the consequences for it. Or if it's not bullying, it's harassing. Because you don't know me well enough like that to even ask that question. I mean, I've known Amela and Mick for quite some time, and I don't think even they would ever ask me a question like that. Because I'd be like, why do you want to know? What is this? You doing like a psychology class or something? And you're... I was surprised. I thought Pulse would have been here. I would, if somebody that I'd known for some time asked me that question, I'd be like, why do you know? What are your intentions with that sort of information? Like if somebody's doing a thing for like a psychology class or something, and I feel that I can trust them, then I probably would answer the question. But that's, as long as my personal information, my identity wasn't going to be revealed to anybody. If I answer questions for, to help somebody out who's taken a course or something in college or university. But, like I've had, my photography teacher, her daughter had to do a project for Veterans Day a couple years back, and she said, hey, would you mind if she talked to you? And I said, yeah, sure, I'll help out with that. But she was very shy. She didn't like reading the questions to me. Like, it's okay. It's not, you don't have to be worried about anything. If I said, look, if I don't feel like I can answer the question or whatever, then I would say, hey, I can't. That's not like something I feel comfortable answering. All right, there we are. Well, Pulse, now he just comes in as we pull into San Francisco here. Well, at least we got a gold out of that. 40, I'll just round that up and say 47 miles. Took us about an hour and 9 minutes to do. Anyway, that is going to be it. I will see you all in about an hour and 15 minutes on Microsoft Flight Simulator. And just hold on, I gotta, because I had to do this the kind of a weird way to get this going. Let me get over here so I can stop the stream the correct way. If I can. Yep. There we go. Nope, that's not it. Oh, come on. You in the live control. There we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. Anyway, I will see you all in about an hour 15 on Flight Simulator. We're going to do that flight continuing over in Italy. And